Welcome back to Winning with Annalee. I'm your host, Annalee Leonard, president of Mainstay Financial Group on the corner of Cervantes and Perry. We spend the majority of our time educating people. And Dr. Joan Connell is my guest today. Joan takes care of Medicare long-term care in our office. She is the expert on that, is training KC to do the same thing so that we make sure that lineage always continues, that we always have an expert in that field in the office. So last month, Joan, we talked about, how to sign up for Medicare, ages about Medicare, the 4 parts of Medicare, the fact that Medicare is not free, despite people say that, you've heard it, I've heard it. No, it's not free. You've paid for it all your life. One thing I'd like to hit on before we go more into this idea of new and open enrollment, let's suppose, and a lot of our clients are, I'm 65, I'm still working, and I've got a good plan with my company. What do I do?
Yeah, because last month we talked only about people who just signing up for Medicare.
Right.
If you are working and you have group health insurance, you need to come and see us.
Yeah.
You need to first of all talk to your human resources people to find out what happens when you turn 65 and become eligible for Medicare, because that plan might have special rules.
Right.
But after you do that, then you can come and see me and we can figure out, should you keep your group insurance? If you're still working, absolutely yes, okay? But when you've got questions, you just come and you see us.
Come and see us. And I'm glad you said that, because it's the same thing as people with their 401ks. People think all 401ks are written the same. People think all health cares are written the same. No, they're not.
Yeah.
We've got to bring in your human resource people. We have to see how things are written up before we can help you decide what it is, what actions that you might have to take. So we're almost at 2018. I can't believe that when I'm saying it.
I know.
Here we are November. Then we got December. Then boom, it's here, 2018. What kind of choices are people going to have in our area?
Well, we're not going to go into individual plans, of course,
Sure.
but right now in our area, remember we talked about Part D last month?
Yes.
There are 21 Part D plans to choose from.
21?
21, yes, there are.
No
right
wonder
in ours.
people get confused.
In the Mobile and Baldwin County areas,
Yes.
there are 25 plans to choose from. Now that's prescription drug plans.
Yeah.
Okay, Medicare Advantage plans, if you're here in our area, we have 13. We have 15 in our area and 13 over in Alabama.
13 in Alabama.
So yeah, that's
Wow.
to choose. Those are those are your choices. That's
Sure.
why people need to come and review it.
Yeah, because I think if an individual tries, let's say with 21 prescription plans, lays them out across the table and tries to compare them, that becomes so daunting that I think people just throw their hands up and say, oh, well, whatever. But thanks to technology, you're able to go in and people bring you their list of prescriptions, list of physicians, and you're then able to tell them which
That's right.
plan fits their needs.
Absolutely, I can, and it's not a mystery because anyone can go into Medicare.gov.
Okay.
.gov. Don't go to any other.
But .gov.
.gov. Okay. All the others are proprietary. They're going to get you. If you go into that site, you're going to get phone calls from I can't tell you how many people trying to sell you something.
Yeah.
Medicare.gov is totally all objective.
Good.
So people need to learn how to use Medicare.gov. That's what I do when
You
they
show
come and see me.
people that, don't
That's
you?
exactly
Yeah.
what I review with them, and that helps them see exactly how their plan might work for next year.
So they can review their
Right.
existing coverage, see if it's going to, because as we talked about last month, sometimes a prescription that is part of your plan next year may not be.
Oh yes,
And
that's,
that may be a very expensive prescription.
or it might be a simple generic. One of our clients last year,
Yes.
she didn't read her annual notice of change. She called me in February. She said, I just went to the drugstore, to the pharmacy, and the drug I was paying like $5 for last year is now $30. And I said, did you read your, and she went back and looked, and sure enough, they moved it from a lower tier to a higher tier. So it could be your same drug, but you're going to
It might cost you
possibly
more.
pay more money.
Might cost you more.
Yeah.
And 30 may be a pleasant surprise. It might cost you a lot
That's right.
more.
Supposing
Add a
they have
couple more
removed it.
zeros.
That's right.
You know.
There you go.
So you've got to be careful with that. So you want to compare, you want to look, you want to understand what you have. So if I'm choosing a plan, tell me some things I should be considering.
Okay, and this goes for Part D plans as well as Medicare Advantage plans, these tips, all right?
Okay.
The first thing is, you know, you have to look and see what coverage do you really need. Are you very unhealthy? Are you very healthy? How often do you go to the doctor? What is it going to cost if you go to the doctor in a Medicare Advantage plan type thing? Those questions. Another big thing I always ask people is what other kinds of coverage do you have? Because if they do have employer coverage, you know, then that's probably where they need to stay. Do they have retiree coverage? Is that where they need to stay?
Gotcha.
Should they stay there?
And a lot of government people have plans they can pull over in military with TRICARE.
TRICARE, yes.
Wow.
Yeah. When people come to me and say they have TRICARE, I say, God bless you.
Yes,
Because
you
that's
earned it.
Wonderful,
you
wonderful
should have
coverage.
it.
Yes.
And I think that is one of the most tremendous benefits that we have set for our military, and I think they should have it. They definitely should have it. So you want to look at what kind of coverage it's going to give you, any other coverage that you're going to have. What else?
What about cost?
Oh, the old dollar bill.
If you're in an Advantage plan or a Part D plan, then, and remember, prescription drugs are generally rolled into Medicare Advantage plans. When I talk about somebody having a Part D plan, that means they're in original Medicare, probably with a Medicare supplement. So they've added a standalone Part D plan. Medicare Advantage plan, it's all bundled together. All right? Health, hospital, medical, hospital, and drugs.
And you teach a class on this, and you do a wonderful thing about the 1-quart, 2-quart, 3-quart, 4-quart system.
That's right.
And I think once you do that, and people go through that class or sit with you in the office, they really get an idea of,
that's what it
this
means.
is why I have this, and this is what it covers.
Exactly.
Because most of the time, I think people just walk around with these little cards and have no idea which one to take out when they need something.
And you know, that's a really good point, Annalee, because if people really want to learn about this, they should come to the class that we do at Pensacola State or over at Coastal Alabama in Fairhope. So, because we do a class on Medicare Made Easy. It's 2 hours of your time, and you really learn a lot.
You cover a lot of these things much more in depth than we're able to. So what about when you're looking at a plan? What about doctors? Is that a consideration?
Oh, that is a critical. That drugs and if you're looking at Medicare Advantage, that's critical.
Okay.
Are your doctors in the plan? All right. If your doctor's not in the plan, if the number of doctors you go to, if they're not in a particular plan, that's not going to be the plan for you. Unless you want to change all your doctors to the doctors that are in that plan. So that's very important.
Does that count for hospitals too?
It could, yes.
Wow.
Last year we had, for example, a Medicare Advantage plan that ended its contract with one of the hospitals here in town. So if the people in that plan wanted to go to that hospital, they had to either get a new plan,
or pay out of pocket.
Or, pay out of, which wouldn't be a good option.
No.
Or they had to go to another hospital. Or another doctor, depending.
So you got to keep up with that.
You do.
And
you
of course,
we've
already covered the prescriptions. You got to check those every year.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got to check those every year. The 6th point you brought up, I found very interesting and intriguing. Quality of care. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, that's a good thing on Medicare.gov, because you can look on that website and see star ratings, and those are granted to plans from 0 to 5, and 0 to 5 stars, and that all comes from evaluation from providers and consumers of the plan about how well that plan works for them.
I see.
And the higher the star rating, the more satisfied people are with that plan. Generally, I would say the 2018 star ratings aren't out yet, But for 2017, probably the average star rating was about 3.5 stars for all the plans.
For all of them.
Yeah. No plan had 0 stars.
Yeah,
you know,
and none
so,
of them are
yeah,
perfect.
You couldn't.
That's for sure.
Right. So
the other thing you brought up, I think, is very good, especially as we age. Convenience.
yes.
So if you live out, let's say, in the Pace area, or you're over in Alabama and you live way out in Saraland or one of the other areas, you've got to see how convenient is your plan going to make things for you.
Absolutely. You know, what pharmacy do you want to use? How can you get there? Does your pharmacy possibly deliver? You know, like one of the member pharmacy in our alliance,
in our
Thrifty
senior
Drugs.
alliance, yes.
Thrifty Drugs, they deliver. They have home delivery, so that could be very important when you're evaluating your drug plan.
Sure.
Especially, like you say, as we age. You know.
Yeah.
Do they have mail order? That's another thing that could be very important. Does the plan have a mail order option for your prescriptions?
Yeah, because that's a nice thing to have your prescriptions come right to your mailbox. Now, not all of them do that, but they're usually a little bit less expensive, aren't they?
Yes.
And then, of course, the magic thing, you know, and we're such a versatile society now, and we're staying young so much longer. What about if people are in Medicare and they travel outside the United States?
Well, Medicare doesn't cover us outside the United States.
Oh, wow. That's scary.
A lot of people don't know that. But if you have Medicare and a supplement and you have an emergency outside the United States, depending on your supplement, it could potentially provide some coverage for you
Some of the
for your
coverage.
emergency care.
So it could be good to get that health insurance that comes with trips, maybe. All right, when we get back, we're going to talk about some other things, the confusion of some of the prescription plans, and something I want to hit very heavily on, fraud. People trying to offer you Medicare supplements and using fraud to do so. We got to be careful. So we'll take a quick break, be right back.
Retirement strategies come in all shapes and sizes. One strategy does not fit all when it comes to reaching your retirement goals, and considering all your options may be, well, more than you want to think about. So whether you're looking to retire or already living in retirement, you need a strategy tailor-made for you.
Hi, I'm Annalee Leonard with Mainstay Financial Group, and I'm here to design a financial plan for you and for those that you love.
Hart, what's going on?
I'm leaving.
Why? What did I do?
Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit.
Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just please, don't leave.
Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Mainstay Financial Group offers advocacy and personal financial guidance in a caring environment. That's the heart of our practice. At Mainstay, we're dedicated to exemplary service and a caring relationship with our client, not with a number. Plan for the future now with Mainstay Financial Services.
Welcome back to Winning with Annalee. I'm your host, Annalee Leonard, president and founder of Mainstay Financial Group, right on the corner of Cervantes and Perry. Today, my business partner, Dr. Joan Connell, is with me, and we've been talking about Medicare, Medicare supplements, open enrollment, first-time enrollment, what I fondly refer to as the Medicare alphabet soup, the A, B, C's, D's, the E, F, G's. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. But the thing is, you know, this used to be a pretty simple thing. And as changes were made to make it quote unquote easier, it became extremely confusing. Now, unfortunately, just like anything else that's out there that's good, you always have people out there that are going to try to take advantage of people who are signing up for Medicare. And I think that's something we don't think about, that, oh, there are people out there that are going to try to get my information just because I need a Medicare supplement. So tell me, Joan, what do people have to watch out for with this?
Well, first of all, we need to understand the fact that there are very strict rules about marketing Medicare Advantage and Part D plans.
Okay.
All right? So, but the people that kind of don't follow those rules, you know, if you find
You mean there are people that don't follow rules, Joan?
yeah, I guess so. Maybe.
Oh, gosh, yeah, we know quite a
right,
few of those
okay.
across the board. Yeah.
You know, if you're being pressured to join a plan, that's a red flag right there. All
Yeah.
right? You do not ever want somebody to say, look, you've got to sign up for this plan right now.
Today, right now.
Yeah, right. You know,
Yeah.
get the best deal, sign up today. That is a absolute red flag. You know you have a right to choose between a Medicare Advantage plan and Original Medicare. You don't have to go with a Medicare Advantage plan. You don't have to stay in Original Medicare. You can go to a Medicare Advantage
Right.
plan. But you have choices. So don't let anybody pressure you into saying, let's do this right away. Remember, you've got from October 15th to December 7th.
Nice period of
Yeah,
time
right.
to think about
Sure, that's right. So,
Okay.
you know, if you've got, if people have questions, they can always call their, over at the Florida Area Agency on Aging, and we'll put that number up on the screen, but it's
Okay.
the SHINE program, and they
Yes.
can give unbiased information about plans.
Yes.
And, which certainly is what I do. I
Right.
mean, I do that.
Right.
So, but it really helps to get that kind of information.
So here's rule number one, don't let yourself be pressured.
Right.
And I tell people the same thing when we're working in the financial house. If anybody is pressuring you, if anybody is saying you've got to sign this today, if anybody's, don't let that happen. Just get up and walk out. You've got to think, you have to discuss, you have to make an informed decision. So what about, you know, people are calling me and or coming to my house to see me, and I'm thinking, something about this just doesn't seem like it's right.
Well, one point before we go to that
Okay.
route is the fact that somebody cannot come to your house at
Ah.
all to solicit you unless you have given them approval to make an appointment. So that's very critical.
So if
Nobody
somebody
can
just
knock
shows
on
up at your door, don't even open
don't
it.
even open it. Don't
Good
even open
point.
it. Okay.
Okay.
The other thing is false information. If somebody's saying to you, guess what? This plan, all your doctors are in the plan. You need to say to them, show me.
Show me.
Okay, and if they can't show you or verify it, then that's where you go to Medicare.gov or call Medicare, 1-800-Medicare, and say, help me understand ABC plan.
Gotcha.
All right?
Gotcha.
Because they'll give you the accurate
Because I really
information.
doubt if there's any plan out there that covers every hospital, every doctor, and every drug.
I doubt that very much.
I doubt
Yeah,
that
right.
too. So if somebody's giving you that kind of a line, you know, it's what we say in my industry, if it's too good to be true, it is. Those are the kind of things you walk away from. You just very politely say, thank you so much for the information, but you know, I've got another appointment in 15 minutes. I'll get back to you, and leave. Because if people are pressuring you, trying to make it too good, that person should be pointing out to pros and cons.
Right.
Because no matter what you do, there's going to be pros and
That's
cons.
exactly right.
Okay? So the
Exactly
pros and cons you've got to talk about. What about, you know, when I do financial stuff, I have to collect very important information, very private information from people. That's how I'm assured there's no money laundering going on, that
Right.
if the heirs make a claim, it is the heir. So what about what has to be collected on Medicare supplements? What do we have to be careful of with that on fraud?
Well, first of all, in order to get basic information about making a decision, you do not have to give personal information to anybody. All right? You just talk about what your need is, and then we look and say, okay, maybe these are your options. You know, the original Medicare supplement standalone drug plan, Medicare Advantage plan. Let's look and see which one fits you best. All right? And then at that point, if a person makes a decision and says, yes, I want to do an application, only at that point does the personal information get collected.
So if I have an appointment with you, and I walk in and I say, okay, Dr. Connell, I'm here to talk to you about Medicare. And your first question to me is, oh, great. Now, what's your date of birth? What's your social security number? What's
now,
your
I do
address?
need date of birth.
Well,
but
we need
not
date
so-
of birth because we got to know how
Right,
old somebody is. But if they start asking for that very personal, very vital information right up front, that's another sign. Get
Don't
up
walk,
and
run.
leave. Run.
That's right.
If you can.
That's
Run.
exactly right.
Okay. Because those are the things where you're basically setting yourself up for somebody who can take that information and use it against you instead of to help you.
Or they can enroll you in a plan. If they have that information, they can enroll you. Supposing you had a not a less than honest agent.
Yes.
Gets that information, he enrolls you in that plan without you knowing, and then all of a sudden you're in a Medicare Advantage plan or a drug plan, and you had no idea.
You had no idea. And unfortunately, that does happen. We would love to be able to say our industry is so regulated, and believe me, we are. We're regulated, and then we're regulated, and then we're re-regulated. But there are still people who manage to slip through the cracks and do things that are not correct. And the only way those people are ever going to be caught and stopped is if you start seeing some of these tactics going on. Those people need to be reported.
Yes.
And don't please, I've heard this too many times, oh, I don't want to report them, they're such a nice person. No, they're not.
Yeah, right.
If they're collecting your information to commit fraud, they are not nice people. So be careful about what you talk to people about too soon.
That's right.
Is that a good way to put it?
That is absolutely true. Absolutely true. And that leads me to another very important thing that's happening in 2018.
Okay.
And that is, and this is all to reduce the incidence of fraud. We are all going to be getting new Medicare cards.
And?
Because you know what's on a Medicare card now? What's
Our
on
Social
Medicare?
Security number.
Right, Social Security number. So for years they have talked about the fact that perhaps that's not a good idea.
No kidding.
Finally, it has come to fruition, and we'll all be getting new cards. They don't even look the same.
Okay.
We'll put that up on the screen. I have a sample.
Oh,
We'll
good.
show people
Good,
what
good,
the
good.
card's going to look
Okay.
like. But it will be a Medicare. There'll be a beneficiary number on it that will be randomly
Which will
generated.
not be your Social Security.
No.
It's about time.
It is.
It is
that
about
but
time.
this is, to me, one of the biggest windows into fraudulent opportunity for people that want to take advantage of this, because now they can be calling people saying, guess what, your Medicare card maybe got lost in the mail. What's your Medicare number? We're going to give you a new one.
And
So
don't
you give
fall
them the
for that.
social, right?
Don't
right.
fall for that.
Nothing will happen like that.
No.
on
And
the
if you
phone.
got a question, again, who do we call?
Medicare.gov.
I mean, that's it.
There you go.
You know,
1-800
call
Medicare,
the
call
right
us.
people. Don't believe just because, you know, and believe me, guys, I had a phone call on my cell phone a couple of weeks ago. Remember that? And it was this call that was telling me that because I had never committed a crime, because I paid all my bills on time, I was eligible for a special government grant that was going to pay me $9,000. Okay? And all I had to do was give them my age and marital status. So I said to the lady, well, what do you have down? She said, oh, I can't tell you that, I have to check. So I answered both questions incorrectly on purpose, and she says, yes, that's right. Now, does that tell you something?
Right, there
I
you go.
answered both incorrectly. She says, yes, that's right. Now you have to call this number to claim. So what they want you to do is call that number back on your cell phone, because now they're into your cell phone. Well, I fooled them. I called them back on the office phone. And what did they do? They hung up.
They hung up.
They
Sure.
hung up.
Yeah.
So anybody that's wanting too much information, all of a sudden you got this extra money, all of a sudden just because you've got this special deal that's coming, stop and think, call Joan, she'll remind you who to call, go to Medicare.gov, but don't fall for these kinds of things. So when are we going to be getting our new cards, do you think?
They're starting to mail them in April of 2018, and
Okay.
a year later we should all have our cards.
We should all, so we might not all get them right away.
No, it's going to be phased in over the year.
Okay, but I think that is one of the most wonderful things, that our Social Security numbers will no longer be on that card, because that's one more way for that information to get out there.
Right. That's right.
One more way. One more way. So, Joan, any other resources you want to talk about? Any other particular things we need to hit in these last couple of minutes?
Yeah, I would say, you know, there are some of our viewers, I'm sure, that possibly need some extra help paying for their medications. I would suggest that if that's your situation, that you call the local Department of Family and Children's Services, and it's 762-2237. And I'll make sure that we have that number up on the screen as well.
Okay.
So
All
we'll
right.
get that. And then, of course, we talked about Shine.
Yes. Great organization.
Great organization run by volunteers to help you with making choices for your Medicare Part D and Medicare Advantage and Medicare supplement plans. Okay. NCOA.org.
Okay.
National Council on Aging.org.
Yes.
Tons of information
Yes.
on that website
Yes.
about a multitude of things
Yes.
related to helping us age properly and healthily and so on.
And healthy. We want to age in a healthy manner, in an intelligent manner. You know, I don't know where this stuff came from, that just because you hit a certain age, now all of a sudden you can't learn, or you need everybody else to make your decisions. Not necessarily true.
Correct.
Now, a lot of our clients will bring with them a daughter or a son or a daughter-in-law, son-in-law. That's perfectly fine if you want to do that. But just be aware, guard yourself, guard your information. If you need help, call us at the office, 437-3127. One of the ladies will be glad to set up an appointment for you, either with Joan or myself. And we will see you next month. And my gosh, it'll already be December.
almost
and
Christmas.
Almost Christmas and time for the new year. So take care of yourselves. We'll see you next month. Bye-bye.